The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, callers, and advisors on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2026. All rights reserved.
It's Week in Review Fridays. Tonight, a week that the F&M leader Michael Pintard flexed his political muscles, telling former Prime Minister and F&M leader Hubert Ingram he's not been a part of his political career. Therefore, any advice that he has for him should have been spoken to in private. We get into it tonight. Also tonight, Grand Key finally getting some relief. The power is back on. And later, the Royal Bahamas Police Force Policing and School Division is here on the eve of the new school year. The officer in charge talks to us about how the force will keep campuses safe. This is Beyond the Headlines, Week in Review Fridays. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, following a crushing election defeat, former Prime Minister and former leader of the Free National Movement, Hubert Ingram's call to find someone who could win, his words, has put current party leader Michael Pintard on the defensive. We've been seeing this play out for the last few days, you all. But the F&M leader is making it clear he and only him will decide when and what he does. Linton Ritchie Jr. has the story.
Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard is firing back at former party leader and Prime Minister Hubert Ingram, taking issue with comments that appeared to challenge his leadership, saying the time of Ingram's remarks was simply not appropriate.
I would not make those comments in that setting. It's not the appropriate setting for those comments, particularly since you have multiple opportunities to say that to an organization that holds you in reverence.
After backing Pintard to the 2026 general election, Ingram seemingly had a change in heart while speaking at an event to observe the anniversary of the party's 1992 election victory, calling on party officials to, quote, find someone who could win. Since Pintard took the helm of the party, his record reflecting 2 by-election defeats, first in West Grand Bahama and Bimini in 2023, and again in Golden Isles 2 years later. Then came the 2026 general election, where the PLP secured 33 seats to the F&M's 8. However, despite the electorate having its say and inside debate surrounding the consideration of new leadership for the party, Pintard says not now.
The convention will ultimately make the decision. And do I believe I remain the best option for the Free National Movement? I do.
Citing his loyalty to the party, choosing what he says was best for the party and not his own political advancement, Pintard reflected on 2 instances where Ingram had selected him to run against both former Prime Minister Perry Christie and Prime Minister Philip Davis in what's known as political suicide. As the F&M conducts its post-mortem following the election defeat, Pintard says Ingram's remarks have distracted from the issues he says government should be answering for, from persistent BPL blackouts to allegations of public funds being misappropriated.
I thought the PLP is on the road. They're in the papers.
You can see what's happening.
Let's understand the context. So don't talk to me publicly on a matter if you're sending a message, if you're attempting to send a message.
Despite the remarks many see as offensive, Pintard says he's not fazed.
This a big man and woman game.
Yeah.
If you can't handle some chafing or even statements made in a context that you don't agree that it's appropriate venue or timing, you shouldn't be in this business.
Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
You heard the F&M leader there, big man business. Stay out because your time finished. He said to hell with all the rest of it. Listen, by the way, the leader, Michael Pintard, says he plans on doing a tour, I guess a national tour, so that the Bahamian people can get to know him and get to know who he is, and have a better appreciation for that. We're going to jump in right there this evening. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Beyond the Headlines contributors, Leslie Miller and Michael Turnquest. Gentlemen, good evening to both of you. Week in Review Fridays, guys.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas.
Good evening, Bahamas.
It's been listen, that turned things. I mean, when we couldn't slap up BPL anymore, there came former Prime Minister and FNM leader Hubert Ingram that says, Pintard, hold up. You had since May to figure things out. You, FNMs, get someone who can inspire, motivate, have a message, be appealing to the Bahamian people, and win an election for the FNM, and it don't seem to be the person in the seat. Well, we all see now Michael Pintard has said, wait a minute, Hubert Ingram, slow your roll. Gentlemen, your thoughts on how this is playing out before our eyes?
You know, Shanique, I think this is one that needs to be dissected very, very carefully. You know, at the end, you know, last night, you know, after hearing those comments, that sat heavy on my heart.
I know that because you showed it to me about a damn midnight last night.
and I had to post, you know, or post on this because, you know, you can't use I would say the glory of Ingram when it's beneficial to you, and then all of a sudden we know the type of leader Mr. Ingram is, that he has been. You know, he speaks his mind, and now, you know, all of a sudden the tables have turned, and, you know, you're kind of backpedaling in terms of the big man game. You know, he shouldn't have said this out in public. You know, we need to stop. And when I say we, I say and FNMs, you know, orchestrating FNMs when they speak, whether it be publicly or privately, as it relates to what's happening. Because at the end of the day, the trajectory in which the FNM has been going over the past decade has been in a downward spiral. And it's the council members of the FNM, if they haven't listened to Bahamian people, you already put the leadership of the FNM out there in a general election. The Bahamians said no. They loudly said no because the results showed. There should be no reason why there should be any type of tour to show the people who you really are. When you had a whole election, you had years to put yourself out there, you had years to show the Bahamian people. What is it? Is it something that, you know, that's being hidden that we don't know about? The council, and I put this on the shoulders of the council. The council needs to make the decision and force, whether it be a convention, whether it be who decide, and make the very hard decisions in terms of, you know, I've said it before, whether they look across the floor, whether they look at the public and say, who is it the best person to lead them, but who the Bahamian people will accept, who they think will be winnable to the masses. Be able to ignite that base.
Leslie and Michael, perhaps everyone is being a little unfair to the leader because if he wants to have this tour where on his own terms, on his own schedule, his own rhythm, he goes to island by island.
Shanique, come on, man. Shanique.
Island by island, community by community.
You've been island by island doing election.
Exactly.
You've been community by community doing election. The people said no. It's a resounding no. There's no more time. See, this is what we get mixed up in politics. You know, the FNM has no more time to be testing in terms of what they've already know has not worked for them. Because here's what happens. You take too long to make a decision, right? And then you get closer to general election. And then all of a sudden, people come out of a convention licking their wounds. They're upset. What goes again? The party goes right back in a downward spiral because everybody is upset that, oh, we should have done what they should have done 3 years ago. Is what they decide they want to do a year before a general election. Then the party comes out of a convention, it comes out infighting, and what happens? They're not ready for a general election. And this is what Michael Pintard is going to set the FNM up, whereas though he holds on for another year, 2 years, whatever it might be, and then the party is not a well-oiled machine for the upcoming general election. That's what he is setting the FNM up for.
You know, what I find incredible in this scenario with Mr. Pintard throwing jabs at Mr. Ingram, that he shouldn't have said what he said. I've known Mr. Ingram, Perry Christian, Philip Brave Davis for at least 60 years of my life. And when it comes to leadership, especially with Mr. Ingram compared with Pintard, if Pintard lived to be 1,000, he couldn't fit into one of Mr. Ingram's shoes when it comes to leadership. I don't know where this little fella believe he coming from. It's time for you to go to get lost. You are not a leader. You don't have what it takes to lead. The people have shown you that. You say the same things over and over and over again. This week he holler, the government shouldn't come with this one particular tax frame to help Bahamians. The Chamber of Commerce said yesterday, they love it. They are so thankful for it being.
So what do you think?
He's clueless.
So Leslie, he's entitled to his opinion, Michael and Leslie. But are you saying that he appears to always address the issues out of sync with when the issue is actually trending?
He is clueless.
And that maybe he is always on sort of the opposite page to what, let's say, for example, the wider community is on?
He's clueless when it comes to politics.
I wouldn't touch, at the end of the day, sometimes some people have to take constructive criticism, right, and internalize it and make decisions in terms of whatever it is that they plan to do moving forward. I think there's no discredit to Mr. Pintard in terms of what he has done in his community as a member of Parliament.
He was a good member.
But at the end of the day, it comes back to leadership, and self-belief is not leadership. That does not, you basically telling yourself, I am the best person for this job. That's not leadership. And this is what we need to get.
But perhaps that is, gentlemen, but perhaps that is boasted by the fact that this man has been elected and re-elected 3 times. That should stand for something.
That's a member of Parliament.
And that's a safe F&M seat within Grand Bahama. Mr. Ingram was the first one to turn Grand Bahama around in 91, I was there. When he beat us.
But it goes back to that. Not everybody is cut out for leadership. It goes back that's a community leader, a member of Parliament that has done an excellent job amongst his people. But at the end of the day, he still does not resonate with the masses. The wider community.
Yes.
Because you realize we got a lot of different demographics within the Bahamian community.
Exactly.
You have to be able to get down to the lowest of low, to the highest of high, and be able to say, hey, let me bring all of you all together, because the F&M is still fractioned.
What does Michael Pintard lack that is not getting the job done?
The Bahamian people will be better, because at the end of the day, I'm only one class of
you've been very vocal on social media. In fact, up to midnight, we were talking because you have a lot to say.
The obvious leadership is it. And resonating with the masses, and that being the person living the Bain and Grantstown, being able to straight up to the person maybe in Life with Key. He's somewhere in between, but he's not covering the whole spectrum.
And not only that.
And that's where he's lacking. And this self-belief of that I am the best option to lead the F&M, that there proves within itself that he is not ready for leadership. Because at the end of the day, sometimes you have to reflect. Because I can tell you, if I was the leadership of the F&M and I took the cut up that I was taking a vacation and going home, telling you, hey, you all go have your convention, but let me take a break.
Leslie, what is it that the leader lacks that is not resonating, is not getting the job done? Has Mr. Ingram speaking out the way he is right now?
What is incredible? As Dave and I went door-to-door, I'm talking about every constituency, okay, from Bain Town to the Grove. To 5 Pound lot, all over this country. Women are scared of this man named Pintard. I told you all that before. People are afraid that there's some hatefulness in him that turns women off, and the women are the ones who cause you to win. Say, Mr. Miller, why he sounds so mean? Why he's so mean-spirited? Why he have to do Dr. Minister way he had to do it. Why he had to get rid of my good buddy there as Minister works on the deputy? Why he had to do that? Why there's a streak in him that frightens women. You cannot win an election without them women on your side, my brother, and you don't have it. If he was the leader, he would have resigned his seat in Grand Bahama, have a by-election, give somebody else a post, and let the F&M move on.
Well, I'll tell you this. This obviously isn't going anywhere, because we are told, Michael, that Mr. Ingram at some point this evening is having a meeting.
I think
that's the word on the street.
That's the word on the street.
Word on the street. Okay, well, we'll see. But certainly this isn't going anywhere, because now Mr. Ingram has stirred the pot, if only that, to have people look and say, wait a minute, does the F&M need to put, before we go to Grand Key, yes, Leslie, what's going on?
With the greatest respect, you can't even put Mr. Ingram and this man you're talking about in the same sentence. Not even in the same paragraph when it comes to leadership, man. Come on.
At the end of
Come
the
on.
day, the FNM
Give us
need
more respect
someone,
than that, man.
Need someone who can stand on their own 2 feet. Doesn't
Okay.
need,
But isn't he? Listen to me. In all fairness, isn't he doing that this week by saying, Mr. Ingram,
It's
with
too
all
late
due
for that.
By
respect,
saying what?
It's too late for that.
go thy
He
way.
could say anything in the little room he was in. That don't resonate with nobody out there. The people who are going to the polls don't listen to him. There's a disconnect between him and them.
What people have to realize in the FNM, at the end of the day, I think there's going to be healthy conversation, and that's what I want to call it, healthy conversations between now and maybe until a convention. And what the FNM needs to do...
If he calls one.
Yeah, if he calls one. But they need to entertain it. You can't try and put it aside and try to muzzle individuals. You have to listen, because at the end of the day, you're trying to resonate with the masses, and a lot of them have a lot of old FNMs, maybe new FNMs, got a lot of things on their heart they want to get off.
Well, gentlemen,
and that's the conversation you have to have.
Gentlemen, this topic isn't going anywhere. We know that, and I'll tell you this. But Mr. Ingram surely did take this off the front in headlines. This one here. After 3 weeks of darkness and heat and misery and strife and all the rest of it, electricity has been restored to Grand Key in Abaco. Bahamas Power and Light confirming that much. I think it was late yesterday about the extending outage, which they say came back after 8 o'clock Wednesday evening. Now, Marvin Green, BPL's Northern Regional Manager, says the company is moving forward and moving expeditiously on a long-term generation project aimed at increasing capacity, providing a backup generation, and improving reliability on the key.
The company will be visiting with the members of the community, those that were impacted. I mean, everyone were impacted, but where persons may need to submit claims for damages, those will be given special attention to ensure that we at least try to recover some of the loss regarding these last events. So again, we understand and we're relieved to be able to make this announcement today. Our work has not finished. We still have to find some form of redundancy there because again, both of our units did fail. Two brand new units that were under warranty are still out for repairs and they haven't been repaired as yet.
You know what the nation wants to know, including, well, especially Grand Key, is the month of August free. That's all. That's all they need. That's all we want to know. I will let Leslie and Michael respond to that and have their say right after the break. This is Beyond the Headlines, Week in Review Fridays. We're back right after this.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash, Superwash's newest spokesmodel, and I'm here to tell you about Superwash's large capacity washers and dryers for all your big loads.
I know I see that Charlie Banana coming here just now.
Uh-oh, luckily it's also big enough for me to hide it.
I thought he was right over here where these large capacity washer and dryers is. They're big enough now to handle your big loads, Yeah, like your comfort on your blanket. But just look at us. Somebody forget to turn on the dryer. Oh, stop! Help! You hear something? Yeah, that's the sound of clean. Superwash washes you, process you, and entertains you 24/7.
Renovating your apartment? Furnishing an Airbnb? Or just want that hotel-grade look in your home? Then stop by Black's Liquidation Center at Town Center Mall. Get the complete queen package for just $899 or go king for just $999. Not looking for a complete bedroom? No problem. Shop our hotel inventory piece by piece. Ceiling fans for just $40. Love seats for $150. Bed benches starting at $50. Floor lamps for $65. Nightstands starting at $60. Queen headboard and frame sets for just $175. Plus mirrors, desks, king mattresses, king headboards and frames, and so much more. Whether you're furnishing one room or an entire property, we've got liquidation prices on quality hotel inventory. And yes, local delivery is available. Visit Black's Liquidation Center at Town Center Mall or call 359-2372 today.
My name is Charles Wesley Hall. My organic farm is nice layers, organic farming. I have 230 boys up here. I give them fresh water, pumpkin, lettuce, cabbages, all the vegetables. Anything what I eat, they eat. Right now, we sell the eggs for $7 a dozen from Monday to Friday. On Saturdays, you can get 4 dozen eggs for $21. I'll be located on Jamaica Road, the western side, Silverstone Primary School.
Running out of space? We've got room for that. Welcome to Skyline Storage, your trusted self-storage solution. Skyline Storage offers units from 5x10 to 10x30, climate controlled or standard dry. Perfect for home or business. Located in Westfield Commerce Park, Western New Providence. Your belongings stay safe with gated access and 24/7 surveillance starting at $175 a month. Reserve, pay, and move in online. No phone calls, no paperwork. Visit SkylineStorage.com. Skyline Storage. Storage made simple.
Well, just before the break, we heard the Northern Service Manager for BPL speak on the restoration of power to Grand Key, Abaco, after about 3 weeks of just sheer misery for those people, spending hundreds of dollars at a time on those who were lucky enough to have generation or generator power. And he says it's been restored and they're looking to install and have something more permanent. Leslie and Michael, this has been such an unprecedented power outage and issues with BPL for the nation, and then Grand Key, 3 whole weeks without power.
Shanique, it's unfortunate. And, my hearts go to, the people of Grand Key, with this, because you're talking about lives, you're talking about, people's goods and things of that sort. You hear some, I call them the pundits, and they say, well, the U.S. have outages. Yeah, they have outages due to, whether it be storms or snowstorms and things of that sort. You don't see a 3-week outage.
Not a 3 week.
A 3-week outage just due to failure of equipment and things of that sort. And I hope BPL is looking at giving them, I don't know what, I can't even think of what it is.
They have to give them all this free.
Yeah, they have.
No, even but
you look at it.
They didn't buy nothing.
But look at people. Look at the general population.
And replace their food on the other apparatus.
Exactly.
Well, you heard him say that they're looking at those things to itemize and see what people lost.
Don't look. Don't look. There's no time for looking.
There's no time to look.
You need to say, we will be doing this.
Okay, exactly.
Whatever you lost, we will replace.
That look may make you do
not mere looking.
Look, they can do nothing.
Yeah, that's. Okay. It leaves it up for debate because then they can go through. Oh, we don't think you it's up to their determination.
Did you really look at this? Yeah. Did you really lose this? Did you really that?
It's unfortunate that in this day and age, we persons do to know. I think people they're very lenient if you know they had a storm pass through and
exactly.
loss of poles and things of that sort. But for 3 weeks, just to say, hey, failure of equipment. We're doing the best that we can.
And y'all remember the joke when they couldn't get the boat to leave from a certain facility because the owners of the resort say, no, you all can't depart from here and upload the generator. It was for a whole 3 weeks. It was just a joke.
But then you still have individuals, and I'm not going to call no names, still stating that we are ready. I don't know if you're getting ready for the summer or what.
Some of them gone now.
So it's unacceptable. It's really, again, my hearts go to them because at the end of that, I kind of imagine the grocery and things that they have to replace, and now they have to go in the food stores and go try to replenish. I assume the food stores could only hold so many because of generators. So
my question to the man who made that statement on behalf of those persons on the quay, and God bless them for the last 3 weeks, they were in the Stone Age to be out of electricity. Were you all not aware of some pending problem there to correct it before it happened? Now you're saying you're going to put in the apparatus to see to it that if it happens again, you'll have extra power. Come on, man. Where you live? You are some executive, and you wasn't aware that there was a problem there before it turned to lights being out for 3 weeks?
You know, and I don't know.
Come on, man.
I don't know if the issue was on the generation or distribution side, because these days you don't know what's going on. You know, who doing what or whatever's going on.
Yeah, that's another thing.
But you know, you have these, and then the Greco generators that we,
The Greco.
the Greco generators.
Greco.
I mean, why not as quick as if it's generation, go back to them, and because you see one of those Greco generators would overturn, so they're still on the island running about here somewhere.
Yeah.
So you know, why didn't we send 5, 6 of them? But like I say, nobody knows what the details are.
But what was his job? His job is to know in advance that there's a pending problem and correct it before it happens.
Leslie, know what? They could barely find wires and stuff underground in Nassau. You think they could find it and locate it and determine in advance on any island?
Yeah, man.
Boy.
I don't know if he's going there. He probably never been out there himself.
You get more faith.
The fellow sitting in his office and he probably know what the damn island is.
You get more faith in them than me.
No, I've been there for 9 years, so you know.
In Grand Key?
No, I'm talking about.
He means in the chair, so he knows how it operates. Meanwhile, gentlemen, Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell says it's not only the Bahamas that's repatriating illegal immigrants. Remember earlier this week, and if we get to it, we will do so. But remember, there's a whole lot of talk going on about xenophobia and Bahamians wanting to target just one set of people and repatriate them. Well, many of you had thoughts on this as well, and we're going to get this story from Danielle Dean as we hear what the U.S. is doing.
They got to be Bahamian citizens or they don't get landed. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
140 Bahamians have been deported home from the United States for 2026 alone. This figure came from Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell, who in recent history has strongly advised Bahamians to be more responsible, stressing how difficult it is to reverse the consequences of overstaying.
In January 30, February 14, March 30, April 18, May 14, June 14, July 2, August 18, for a total of 140 this year. Deported from the United States.
This comes as the government continues to carry out a series of repatriation exercises mainly involving Haitian nationals, with the most recent being Thursday, where 104 Haitian nationals were sent back home. For some, the revelation that Bahamians are too being returned home is a humble reminder that there are some that believe they have a shot at a better life in another country, even if they have to do it illegally. For other residents, they say overstaying Bahamians will mean the innocent suffer for the guilty.
The same way how we are behind the government to deport illegal immigrants, I do believe that if Bahamians are somewhere illegally, that they should be deported back home also. And if they get deported, then you get deported. You can't get mad. You don't have your papers. And don't make it hard for me. I need to travel. So come, and if you don't come willingly, and if they ship you here back home, then so be it.
It's not worth pretending you've gone off to greener pastures, this resident argues, when you're not doing it the right way.
They post a lifestyle that isn't really real. So you would be in the Bahamas saying that, okay, so-and-so is in New York or in California and they live in, but at the end of the day, they may be living worse than you. It's just a facade that they are living better in another country.
As the United States tightens up on its immigration crackdown, foreign affairs officials warn Bahamians to lawfully seek residency and citizenship in other countries. Otherwise, a buildup of offenses could be to the detriment of the wider Bahamian public. Danielle Dean, Eyewitness News.
Heard what Bahamians had to say, what the minister had to say, but before you all respond, Mitchell is also reacting to CARICOM election observation missions. There are concerns about xenophobia targeted at Haitian nationals, specifically during the election process. A whole lot happening there. Take a listen.
Suffice it to say, at the official level, we do our best to ensure that the standard which obtains throughout the country, and I think this is largely true of all of our citizens, that there's a respect for people regardless of race, color, creed, or national origin, and that remains our position, and we will continue to say that that ought to be the case. In our country, immigration is a fracture line, and I think that's going to continue to be the case going forward.
So, of course, we talked about the U.S. repatriating about 140 Bahamians this year already. And then we went right into the xenophobia that CARICOM observers during our election said that Bahamians have. Listen, first of all, that xenophobia is everywhere. throughout CARICOM and even the United States. Thank you. Especially so y'all MYOB.
And Turks and Caicos, don't forget.
Especially Turks and Caicos. So don't come here and act.
Take the damn people country from them.
Don't come here and act extra, but y'all making observations.
I mean, you look at it. Donald Trump. He spoke. I guess he was xenophobic.
Unapologetically, okay, and yes, exactly.
I'm not apologizing.
So CARICOM.
The norm is normally whatever country has, I guess, the influx. And just so that's more than likely. Exactly. I call it the topic of conversation in terms of whatever country that's a huge influx. You know, as for us, we know exactly where our big influx of illegal immigration comes from, and there are others. And I think we have touched over time all of the different nationalities in terms of a lot of them. Yes, they do have to go. And that's, you know, it's just, but it is what it is. Mind your business.
But Leslie, before you respond, there in the time of an election, there's been no xenophobia expressed. Certainly not on no large scale to be a concern for CARICOM. No. Here's why. Yeah, there were one or two people talking about the passport fraud and aiming it at Haitians and Haitians getting citizenships to vote. That was stupid. It shouldn't have happened to begin with. We said that on this show.
Exactly.
But Haitians or persons of Haitian heritage were not prevented from voting in the last election.
We look as though we made every opportunity for them to come to the poll, whether it be translation, things of that sort. I think we overexerted what needed to be done, because at the end of the day, I am of the belief that in order for you to have a Bahamian passport or to vote in our election, you should be able to speak English.
I agree with you too. And don't forget now, most of the countries in Caribbean don't entertain the Haitian immigrants.
They don't.
Let's make that clear. But look at Turks and Caicos, where there's some 18,000 Turks and Caicos to 32,000 Haitians. Those people are tired, they're afraid of their future. I'm concerned about our future for Bahamians yet unborn. Like Mr. Lawkins Roker, God bless him, used to say, if you don't fix it now, it will destroy you. And I'm convinced that within 30 years, if you don't deal with this problem now, we could be gone.
We will be a minority.
We could be gone.
And we're going the fine places. You hear about us going to retire Bahamas. You know, we would be like countries like Cayman, Bermuda, where as though the little that are left, all we're doing is just working for whether it be the foreigners and basically become a minority in our own country.
Well, first, you better try and make sure these people know English and math. Hey, how about that?
Look at the beach people fighting.
Because Bahamians have decided they are going to exclude themselves out of the mainstream operations of this nation.
Yeah, that's because they don't want to train themselves for the damn jobs that are out there that the foreigners are doing. And this school, this technical school, need to step to the plate. One of the guys who I think is head of BTVI said it's going to cost $185 million to put up, I don't know what damn world he live in, to put up a school. You got to try, make the first step, train them, put up a school out there on the sports center, get our people ready, please.
There's a lot to be done. Whether it be AI, a lot of things in terms of, you know, at the end of the day, people talk about AI taking jobs. First of all, we have to tool our individual in terms of how to use it, how to accept it. And these are the things that we don't do. You know, maybe, and hopefully, you know, these are things that they.
But you got a new ministry now.
Yeah. So you know, there's a lot of work to be done.
Absolutely, gentlemen, you all talk. I think we are limited in this segment with this story, so we won't go to it. But the beach vendors at Paradise Island, Cabbage Beach, are talking, asking the developers there. We know those developers and the government to not erect a fence there on Cabbage Beach so that they can continue using the beach. You all, what do you?
I think I saw Lincoln Deal, the member of Freetown, speaking to that in terms of the high water mark. At the end of the day, the high water mark is the high water mark. That doesn't change. No. And you know, you can put all the fence, but you can't place a fence illegally beyond or past the high water mark, whereas you're stopping Bahamians from doing what they've been doing for the past 18, 20 years. You know, this is where we need to stop, and we continue to sell to foreigners, and whereas though it's now starting to impose
on Bahamian people property,
on Bahamian property, things that should belong to us. You know, at the end of the day, all many people are trying to do is try to make a living. That's all you have, Bahamians out there, and we should protect our Bahamians. That's key.
You know, the policy under the late Sir Lyndon government, especially Mr. Hanna. And that's why Glenda's Hanna Martin will stop them from putting up that fence. You don't sell Crown land You lease it to foreigners. You don't sell. That is the people's land, and they have every right to go on any beach in this country. Anywhere we have that right. Because in fact, most of us don't have the privilege to go into the beaches. Because y'all got us working so hard, we the ones slaving. Only y'all could take the weekend off. We can't even take the weekend off.
Well, the thing is, when you lease it to them, it's like they own it because they can do whatever they want to do with it and still keep you out.
At the end of the day, the government always have the option that you govern yourself accordingly. If not, we take it back.
Which government in recent time will take it back and send the people packing? Which?
None.
I know one thing. You don't go in Dubai and mess around.
We didn't say Dubai. Here in the Bahamas. Which?
The best way we got to get serious. We have to get serious.
Yeah.
That ain't happening.
Gentlemen, I thank you both very much. You guys always bring it on a Friday evening. Bim. Michael, you're not writing much tonight, right? You're not going to write.
No, teachers are now. I understand.
Which teachers, Leslie? From Ghana?
From Ghana.
What you trying to get a wash? What you trying to do?
Just get a bath. Do the right thing.
When these Bahamian teachers deal with you, Leslie, who just were rehired, and you doggone playing, but you love these.
I just want the Ministry of Education. You leave it to Leslie. A lot of them ain't going to work.
Listen, I thank you, gentlemen. We will see next week. We will see next week where these new Ghanaian teachers are. We'll talk about that next week. But meanwhile, I thank you very much, Leslie Miller, Michael Turnquest. Thank you so much. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll be taking a look at school policing just in time for the start of the new school year. This is Beyond the Headlines.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Good to have you all tuned in this week in Review Fridays. Well, on Monday, thousands of students are preparing to return to the classrooms. The focus is not just on books, teachers, and learning. It's on security, discipline, and keeping students safe. School resource officers, police officers are being deployed as part of a broader strategy to tackle violence, drugs, truancy, disruptive behavior, and other threats on campuses. Joining me this evening is the officer in charge of school policing, Superintendent Keith Ferguson. Good evening to you, Superintendent Ferguson. Great to have you here. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining us here on Beyond the Headlines.
Yes, ma'am. And good evening, Bahamas.
Yes. What is the first thing, the sort of front and center, the main focus headed into this 2026 school year?
Let me start off by saying that, in keeping with the Commissioner of Police policing policy 2026, Priority 6, the Commissioner has mandated the School Police Division to empower our youth through sustained partnerships, that be private or public, and also sustain what we call positive youth engagement initiatives in the effort to divert our youth from negative or criminal activities and help them become productive members of society. With that said, let me say that the School Police Division, we are in a partnership with the Ministry of Education. We don't do anything in the schools without their consent, without their permission. We are a support mechanism. We have three main objectives, okay? Our first main objective would be we assist the Ministry of Education with ensuring that our schools are safe and secured, and that the school is a stable environment conducive to learning. That's our first and main objective. Secondly, we assist the Ministry of Education, the administration, with what we call positive youth engagement activities. Our school resource officers, they speak with students daily on various topics, the importance of making right choices, conflict resolution, the dangers of being involved in gangs, firearm, drugs, anti-bullying messages. You know, bullying in all its forms is wrong, whether it be physical, verbal, social bullying. And you know, the big issue now, we have something called cyberbullying. And when you do the background check, we find out that a lot of cases, before it came physical or verbal, or even social, it happened online, it happened on social media. Okay? And then thirdly...
But how's the police sort of getting and trying to infiltrate that? Because that's kind of different and unique. How are you, what's the plan to be able to kind of nip that and maybe even stay ahead of it rather than catch up?
Well, everything is education, okay? Letting the students, our young persons, know the dangers by getting online. You know, even communicating with strangers on social media. One time ago, they had something called stranger danger. Don't accept a ride from a stranger. Don't accept candy. Don't talk to a stranger. But now the stranger danger is on these electronic devices, the phone, the laptop, okay? And so we try to educate our students, because at the end of the day, we want to train our students to be able to make the right decision on their own. A police can't be on every street corner.
No, or on every campus.
On every campus.
At every minute.
At every minute. The parents are not going to be there at times. The administration, the teachers are not going to be there. But if we could train our students to make the right decision, think about it, process it. Is this good for me? Is this, what's going to be the repercussions if I was to do this? Then they'll be in a better position to police themselves. So it's education and running scenarios and having conversations with our young persons. I think that's very important.
Do you think that the work already, because overall, while we know there have been instances, there's also been many students who in pockets have been rushed to the hospital, and we'll get to that because of drug use, meaning edibles and whatnot. But do you think your work already has made the impact, the desired results that you want? Because you are reporting that there's a decline in school violence or campus violence.
Yes. Well, just our presence, the police presence alone is a deterrent to criminal activities. This uniform we wear, being visible in the early morning hours. You know, we have a lot of traffic next week, So I've told all my school resource officers, first thing in the morning, you get there early, you be visible, you be the deterrent to the person who's going to block up the road, cause more congestion. The parent who's going to let the child off in the street, as opposed to in the school, will bring the child in life in danger. So just our presence there is a deterrent to crime. And yes, incidents are turning down. And what you have to have at the schools we call overlapping layers of security. So it's a combination of the school resource officer, the administration, the staff, the security team there. Now we have also on board, as of last year, to all the schools within New Providence, crossing guards. And we call that the perimeter security. Okay, so we want our officers to be visible, to deal with traffic infractions, to help ease the traffic congestions at the schools, at the choke points. And then also we assist with the overall security of the schools. So that means we may need to check persons coming onto the compound, the bag packs, and make sure they have no, what you call contraband,
Let's talk about parents. Parents are, and we're talking and as it relates to security and accountability, and even in terms of their children, what is being done to discourage parents? And I know that you all are sending out ahead of the new school year a warning to parents that their interference, their violence, their losing their tempers and coming and showing out on school campuses will not be tolerated.
So I'm glad you brought this up, because that's my third objective. We enforce any law that may be breached on the school compound or the surrounding areas. So we take a zero tolerance approach. And not just parents, anyone who think they can come onto the school compound and disrupt the safety and security of the students. And not only the students now, the security of the administration, the teachers, or anyone else who must come onto the compound. And I would encourage parents, when they do come on the compound, there's policies and procedures for the safety of all students. So once you come onto a compound, you must make a check first at the security desk, present a valid government ID, okay, so you know who you are. They'll document, and then they will call ahead to see if you do in fact have an appointment at the school premises, on the premises.
So you're not just going to be able to show up and figure, no, I'm here to see a certain teacher, or no. You have to have a...
Past experience has shown that sometimes when that is allowed, the person would come and say, okay, I come here to see John Doe. We have a meeting for 1 o'clock. I'm going to the administration office. Then on their way to the administration office, they detour and go someplace else. And then it's an issue. So once they reach that checkpoint, the security will call ahead. Does John Doe has an appointment to see you? Yes, sir, yes, ma'am. The security officer or the SRO or the administrator would then escort that person to where they need to go. And when they're concluded, they will escort us back off the premises.
Escorted back off the premises,
Yes.
which is really, really necessary. And because parents oftentimes are the biggest distraction, not in the best way, the biggest distraction on a school campus.
Well, I say, gone are the days when we say, do as I say and not as I do. Now, back in the old days, that's the way with us. Today, parents need to be an example to their students, their child, to their children. Okay, they must lead by example. We had last semester, we had 1 or 2 incidents where we had to put parents before the court. Okay? Because they didn't know how to govern themselves when they came onto the compound. They made threats of death. Some cases, physically assaulted persons on the compound. So we have to take a zero tolerance approach to anyone coming onto the compound and disturbing that security or that sanctity of the students studying. And I tell persons, when you have persons come onto a compound and disrupt the whole school, I call that a crime against the community.
Yes.
Reason being, you have hundreds and hundreds of parents who have sacrificed to ensure that their child got to school on time, got uniform, that they're properly equipped. But now the whole compound is disrupted. The school is on lockdown until community could determine what is going on. So that whole, the teacher's lesson plan the exam, everything comes to a stop.
The entire day is lost.
It's lost.
And we all know that can be ill afford, based still on national exam results and that kind of thing that's been shown just a few weeks ago.
Yes.
So, a matter of fact, last week, not even a few weeks ago. Let's talk about emerging trends. We saw some of that show up last semester on school campuses. Groups of students having to be, private schools and public schools having to be rushed to hospital because of edibles and whatnot. How is the police policing that?
Again, education. You know, we have a saying that when the U.S. sneezes, we here in the Bahamas catch a cold. Okay? And we look at the trends in the U.S. and we try to go be ahead of those, be proactive. So again, you're educating not only our parents and the administration at school, but the students. A lot of the items they're using now look similar to the regular house items.
That's right.
The potato chips,
snacks, and
the snacks, the gummy bears, the candies, even chocolate. So we want to educate persons on what they need to look for, the THC levels, maybe the little marijuana leaf insignia on the packages. Also the names, okay, read the contents. September, we go straight into October, Halloween.
You know.
Trick or treat.
Yeah.
So parents have an awesome responsibility to ensure that when their child receive any type of candy or treat, to make sure that it's the right, check the package, check the labeling. THC level, does it have marijuana in it? Because this is what it's, I mean, you look at it, it looks exactly the same.
It is. It's the same treats we all know about. How about pursuing and targeting adults who go at vulnerable students to say, hey, listen, I have this to sell, and not informing them, but just selling them these treats? Well,
I'll say our drug enforcement unit, they have been very successful this year. It may not have been broadcast, but it's before the court, some hours before the court, where they have arrested persons who have been bringing in these synthetic drugs, these marijuana-infused candies, gummies, chips, chocolates. But they have been very successful in their endeavor in targeting these prolific offenders in that regards. Because here's it now, you're destroying the life of a young person. A young person's brain is still formulating until the age of 21. When you have these synthetic drugs, in a lot of cases we don't even know what inside these vapes, these gummy bears, okay? It stagnates their brain development. So it stagnates them and their ability to learn, to comprehend, to make the right decisions and the right choices. We say conflict resolution, but you gotta be able to comprehend what's going on first, eh? You know, so we're taking a serious stance on that. And also too, we are looking at truancy. Studies have shown that when a student or a child does not attend school, they are more likely to get involved in negative or criminal activity.
Absolutely. What are 3 objectives you want to, by the end of this semester, this school year, to have noticeably achieved and say, you know what, we did a good job, campuses around the nation are in a better place?
Well, first we want to make sure, number 1, schools are secured, they're safe, they're stable for students to come there on a daily basis and learn. We want to make sure the teachers feel safe to teach. The administrators feel safe to administrate, okay? And that's paramount. I think that's the first thing. Because once you have a stable environment, it gives the student the best opportunities to be the best student, okay? Secondly, we want to also develop our relationship with our community. Because we call it a team partnership. You know, back in the day, the old proverb, it takes a village to raise a child. I believe in that. You know, beyond the headlines is part of the village. The Royal Bank Police Force, we are part of the village. The education, Ministry of Education, they are part of the village. And I always tell my officers, if we are like some cases the lifeline to a lot of these students. And if all of us throw out a lifeline beyond the headlines, Ministry of Education, the Royal Mounted Police Force, community partners, that child has a greater success rate to survive.
Yeah.
And I think that's the direction we need to head in.
Absolutely. And in 30 seconds, Superintendent, what do you want to say to the students who will be heading out on Monday morning to campuses across the nation?
Well, I'd like to say to them, be safe. Be safe. Take advantage of these opportunities that we have here in the Bahamas. When I tour the campuses, we have so much opportunities here. You could be introduction in carpentry, electricians, mechanic, beautician, inmate, cook. Some of these are opportunities we have here. A lot of the colleges don't have them. So I just want to encourage them, go do the right thing, make the right decisions, make the right choices. Think before you act. They say we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we could listen twice as much as we speak.
Very, very good.
Yes.
Good advice for adults as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Superintendent Keith Ferguson, Officer in charge of school policing here in the Bahamas, getting ready for Monday and the new school year. We wish you all the best, and certainly, of course, this platform remains open to you for anything that you need to discuss and get across as well during the term. Thank you once again. And a huge thank you to all of you for tuning in all week long, including tonight in this Week in Review Fridays. It's been awesome having you hang out all week. I look forward to seeing you right back here on Monday evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great and a blessed weekend, everyone.